My dish today is called Down the Rabbit Hole, and it has a Dolce Diplomat white chocolate temper disc, a chocolate spray, chocolate tree branch, pistachio sponge, matcha soil, a yogurt foam, and a golden vanilla caramel. There's a lot going on in this idea that I have, but if I can really pull it off, I think it's not only gonna hit the brief, but the flavor's gonna be on point, and it will take you to down the rabbit hole. 20 minutes to go, and I've made my Dolce Diplomat cream, and I have my dark chocolate tube that's been tempered, vanilla caramel. Next thing I start working on is the chocolate branch for the tree. I've got my tempered chocolate in a small piping bag, and I pipe it into ice cold water. And what that's gonna do is gonna set, and as it's setting, I'm gonna keep piping into the branches and kind of create this 3D effect of a chocolate tree. There's not much time left. I'm going to spray the whole inside of the bowl to kind of give that dark chocolate forest floor effect. Now it's time to plate up. I've got my white chocolate disc, I've got my chocolate tree, my chocolate branch, I've got pistachio sponge, and I'm piping some dolce on top of the forest floor. The aesthetics of this dish is to draw you into the Alice in Wonderland. To make it more special, I put a little bit of Dolce cream on the chocolate tree branches. I've got some shiso flowers from the garden, and I start placing them onto the tree branch, and it's looking really cool. And it's really fun to kind of cook with inspiration from a fairy tale. I've got my yogurt foam cooked in nitrogen, and I think it looks incredible. It's a caramelized white chocolate diplomat with pistachio sponge, matcha crumble, dark chocolate, and a vanilla caramel with lime yogurt. Ready?
Yeah, do your sauce.
We're ready.
I've got my hot caramel. It needs to be hot enough to melt through that chocolate and give that rabbit hole effect. I'm looking down at my plate, I'm looking at the judges, I'm looking back at my plate, and I'm just thinking to myself, please, it needs to melt it.
And there it is. There's the rabbit hole.
My dish is there, right there. It's down the rabbit hole. I'm just really stoked that I pulled this off.
Well, as per your usual specifications, it is beautiful to look at. However, let's hope it tastes the same.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you. I mean, wow, look at that. We asked for fairy tale, and if that's not fairy tale in a bowl, my goodness. I mean, it just looks so magical.
All right, we're on.
Thank you.
I mean, even the twigs are brushed in gold dust.
Right. From the top, theatre, big tick for me. Like, really got the idea of the challenge. But actually going into the dessert, the diplomat is so rich. The dark chocolate's got that bitter edge to it. The yogurt snow's got the acidity, and the caramel sauce is just rich in an edge of saltiness. It's hard to fault as an overall dish.
One dish was technically perfect, incredibly delicious. And it didn't only hit the brief, it hit it out of the kingdom. And that dish belongs to Reynold.
Reynold, my man, well done.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
You came in here with your eyes squarely fixed on immunity, and you did it.
Thank
How do you feel?
I feel so good because just this week has been not only emotional, but just really trying to give it my all. Just trying to get better every single time. And I know it's getting to that point here in the competition. It's only going to get harder from here on.
Reynold.
I'm just so incredibly happy that I finally got immunity in this season. I'm basically in the top 11 now, and I'm so grateful. Top 10 is just an inch away. I'm cooking a sweet dish utilizing Tahitian lime. I've made my gelato, my curd, my granita. It's a 3-component dish. I usually do about, 6, 7 components on a dessert. This time, it's only 3 very simple things. Simple, it can be amazing, but each component has to be perfectly balanced. There's no room for error. My granita is very acidic, and I'm not sure about the balance, and I'm thinking of another component to do to have some sweetness.
Just do like a sugar-blown lime or something.
Yeah, blow a sugar lime.
Yeah, blow a lime.
I might do that, actually. If he actually does.
I'm gonna add in another component into this dish, a feijoa whipped ganache with mangosteen.
Freeze-dried feijoa. Yum.
Feijoa is a green fruit, is in the same family of the guava family. The flavor is a cross between guava, strawberry, and pineapple. It's going to add in some creaminess to cut the acidity of the limes, and the mangosteens can add some texture and some more sweetness. I really hope that it's enough to get to round 2.
How's it going, Reynold?
Going all right.
You're all right, just all right. What's happening?
I just need to taste everything. I'm just hoping that I've used enough acidity without it being too sour. The granita is quite acidic, the curd as well, but I've got some creamy components to kind of mellow everything out.
But you've normally got like 8 or 9 elements.
Yeah.
Today you've only got 4.
Yeah, I'm really hoping I've done enough.
All right, well, let's hope you're not playing it too safe, mate, eh?
Thanks.
Okay, Reynold, tell us about your lime dish.
I've got a lime curd, feijoa, and lime ganache with lime granita, mangosteens, and a lime zest ginger gelato.
Are you happy with how much lime is in it?
Well, it's definitely limey, but in terms of balance, it comes down to that.
Should we taste it?
Let's do it.
You had a short amount of time, but your ability as a chef to balance is what is the most striking part of this dish.
You start off and you get that full zing, you get the burst, you get the granita, and then it just goes silky smooth. Pairing it back doesn't mean that it's going to be boring, and that right there is testament to that.
My mouth is still pinging from the lime. It's really, really bright and fresh and zesty. And this dessert really did benefit from the richer elements because you've been thinking about balance. Nicely done.
Hi, Reynold.
Yes.
Callum's doing a duck mandarin master stock with noodles. Like he's talking about layers and layers and layers of
I know.
flavour.
I'm going to try to do the same. I'm feeling a little bit nervous that I'm going to be going up against Callum to cook a savoury dish, since this is his strongest suit. I've already thrown out my ace card in round 1, so I've got to be really clever, a bit more experimental.
Yes, Reynold.
I had this idea in mind. It's a cold dish, fresh seafood, featuring Japanese flavors.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go with kingfish.
And are you going to cut it, slice it, dice it? What are you doing?
Dice it. So like a tartare. And I'm gonna do a little quick cure, which is with soy and lime, a bit of mirin, and some rice wine vinegar.
What's going to be so special about this dish is how I utilize the limes in terms of the curing of the fish and all of the other components that I have.
And also gonna do a lime dashi cream, a ponzu gel, and a scallop silk. It's a lot of components.
Good stuff, Reynold.
I really want this dish to be elegant, so
The biggest challenge today is nailing the techniques. It's a very technical dish, so there's no room for error. I do feel like I can win this competition. Top 10 is a massive hurdle, so I need to really pull out something special.
What is that you're making, Reynold?
scallop silk.
Scallop silk is an amazing technique, and I've done the scallop silk in the restaurant many, many times. You blend up scallop with some activated charcoal and a bit of dashi, a Japanese fish-based stock. I'm really hoping I've got the ratio of the scallop silk right. You make it into a fine paste, put it into a vacuum bag, seal it, and then it just gets poached, and you get this beautiful, shiny pasta texture that holds everything together.
Scallop silk?
Yes,
It looks like something that you'd get from a very fancy restaurant.
it's gonna flatten out properly.
Yeah.
And tastes just as great. So I hope the judges love it.
I've never seen anything like this before. Like, that's so cool.
I've got the scallop silk in the bag, and the texture looks right.
That looks really cool, Reynold. Is it good?
Yeah, it's cooked.
I'm just hoping that once this sets, that's gonna come out beautifully. Just because it's a cold dish doesn't mean I'm not packing a lot of flavor.
Talk to us, Reynold. Where are you going to use the limes?
Basically in everything. Lime's gonna be used in the ponzu gel.
Okay.
Also, it's gonna be in avocado puree.
Right.
And I'm gonna make a dashi cream, which is seasoned with lime and lime zest as well.
Okay, so once again, you're sort of reinforcing the lime flavour through various elements and then
Yeah.
balancing that out with some richness.
correct.
Okay.
Ponzu is a Japanese citrus dressing. It's gonna be really important to enhance the beautiful, subtle flavor of the scallop silk. Because it's gonna be a gel, it's more of like a seasoning. It's that pops of acidity every time you bite into the dish. I'm happy with the ponzu gel mixture. It's got nice citrus note to it. Hopefully it's something that can elevate this dish to the next level.
I'm just gonna try to stay focused and try not to get too distracted. I just need to get all my components done. So far I've made the cured kingfish. I've done the ponzu, which I'm gonna turn to a gel in a second.
I'm putting lime in every component of this dish.
I've gotta make the avocado puree.
There's so much going on. There's so much things I need to get done.
Now I'm making the bonito cream.
Callum's gone for big flavors, whereas for me, it's all about a kind of clean, light, and slightly acidic flavors. I guess it depends on how well we feature our citruses. And for me, I hope the scallop silk will impress the judges enough to get that immunity.
Come on!
Oh my God. There's not much time left.
I've still got to get the scallop silk out of the bag, and everything hangs on this moment because it's gonna hold the dish together. It needs to be perfectly cooked, smooth, silky, and shiny.
Reynold,
Yes.
critical moment.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see now it's like crumbling. Yeah, I think I'm screwed. Oh my God.
Come on, Reynold.
Hey, Reynold, focus.
Yeah.
If it's not going to work out, change tack. You've still got 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Go on, mate.
Come on, Reynold. Keep pushing.
You can do it, mate.
You got it, Reynold. Come on.
Oh my God.
Come on, Reynold.
Is it gonna work?
Nah, I don't think so. Nah, it's sticking to the grids.
Oh, God.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm trying to think now. It's not gonna come off. Oh, it might actually.
Just don't forget about the flavour, the texture.
Tastes good.
It's not perfect, but it still tastes really good. I've got to rework how I'm gonna plate this up. I've got to trust in the flavors. I think I can still win this.
All right. Oh my God.
Get it on the plate, lads. 1 minute left.
I'm really happy with the cured kingfish. I know the flavors are there. I just hoping I've done enough.
It's a citrus cured kingfish with avocado puree, ponzu lime gel, and a bonito and dashi cream.
It certainly looks like an interesting dish that I want to try, so let's crack on and eat it, shall we? Reynold, I actually really like it. Avocado mousse is pumped up, maximum flavour, good amount of lime juice in there. But what I really, really, really love is that dashy cream with the lime in there again, that spike of flavour. You picked limes. It's lime that I'm still tasting a few minutes after I've eaten it, so delicious dish.
Thank you. Look, I like the flavours. No getting around that. I think the balance is a little bit out. You spent so much time on that scallop silk.
Yeah.
And it's just disappointing because it doesn't add a heap to the dish. You've really tried to amp up the lime. So that scallop silk, which is meant to be a bit of a, more of an earthy sort of boost to that dish, it just gets lost.
The kingfish, that was a smart choice to do in such a short cook because it did have a nice lightly cured texture to it and a lot of flavour as well. The question here is you invested a lot of time during this cook on that silk, and is this going to cost you?
What's that, Reynold?
This is for the dakwa.
I am doing a lot of elements in my dessert.
And I'm whipping up my ganache for the cherry ripe.
Oh my God, you're crazy, Reynold.
Did he just whip ganache?
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could whip ganache.
Whipped ganache, it's a really light in consistency and flavor. It's kind of like chocolate mousse.
What's the red syrup?
It's cherries and blood limes.
I have to churn my gelato using nitrogen, and it makes a really silky smooth ice cream. And also make a yogurt snow. So this is really gonna be very tight. But I always want to push further and further because as the competitions get harder, I need to put up dishes that are more impressive.
Nice, Reynold.
This is my first time in round 2 elimination cook. And if I was to go home today, I'd be devastated. So right now, it's crunch time. I take my meringue out of the oven, and it is cracking and breaking. It was meant to look like the Sydney Opera House. So it's not looking like what I want it to be. It's not bending. I'm gonna try my best to get this meringue off the silicone mat because I want to still get that onto the plate. I'm going to plate up my dish in front of the judges, so I will try my best to make it look like the Sydney Opera House.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Reynold.
Enjoy.
Well, from this angle, I can see maybe a deconstructed artistic interpretation of the Opera House sales.
Opera house or no opera house, it looks very, very delectable. There's no need to talk about the technique here because it is all flawless. From the wafer shards to the coconut ice cream, it's all how it is exactly meant to be. The flavour composition, and it's all exactly how it's meant to be. That coconut ice cream is like, just give me that in a cone and it's happy days.
I mean, the texture of that ice cream is the bomb. The chocolate mousse is super rich, and with those pitted cherries in there, it just makes it even richer again. But then that's a yogurt popcorn frozen number, cuts across your palate. I loved everything about it.
I'm a big fan of the cherry ripe. The dark chocolate, the cherry, the coconut, all faithfully represented, but just in a way, you know, we could never have conceived it because it's come out of Reynolds' amazing brain.
There's a new menu item at his restaurant.
Easily.
I need you to yell louder.
Reynold.
I'm climbing over the little pantry shelves and I'm trying to hear Tessa what she's saying. It is just mayhem. I need a microphone.
Reynold.
Yes.
I can't hear you. What did you say?
The sweet potato, how do you want it cooked?
After Tessa and I finally hear each other and we discuss our ideas and what we're gonna do and what we're gonna start with,
Spike it with a fork and put it in a microwave for 10 minutes.
Tessa and I are making sweet potatoes with charred onions, brown butter, smoked cream, and a salsa verde.
All right, sounds good. Doing that now.
The first thing we do is bake the sweet potatoes in the microwave to kind of speed things up and then finish it off in the oven.
Tessa, potatoes in.
While the potatoes are cooking away, the next thing we start working on is the sweet potato nest.
Get a Japanese glaive for your sweet potato crisp.
Yep, okay.
So what you do is you glaive it, blanch it in hot water, and then you slice it very fine.
This is definitely Reynold taking charge on this one, and I'm just trying to follow exactly what he would usually do. Okay. I think I've got it, Reynold. So we're doing sweet potato, slowly roasted. We're gonna have that with a salsa verde. We're doing a sweet potato nest, and then we'll do a smoked creme fraiche as well. So it's vegetarian. We just want it to be sort of light and fresh.
Tessa, we only blanch it for about 20 seconds.
Okay.
We've shifted out the sweet potato sheets and blanched and into an ice bath. Now it's time for us to make the salsa verde.
All right, salsa verde, I need you to guide me on that one. So whatever your ratio is, okay?
I've done 1 bunch of basil,
Yep.
50 grams of capers without the vinegar, 10 turns of the white pepper.
All right.
So do that, and then let me know when you're up to there. The salsa verde, it should be quite acidic. I don't want it actually too chunky. We didn't really discuss exactly the consistency that we wanted for the sauce, but the more that I do think about it, I think we should scale it back and maybe just make it sort of a basil and caper emulsion. Hey, Reynold.
Yes, Tessa, I'm here.
I've put like 100 mils of the oil in, but I reckon I'm gonna change to the stick blender.
Stick blender?
Yeah, because I just feel like it's not working properly.
All right, that's fine, that's all good.
I didn't explain to Reynold at the beginning sort of my ideas, so we kind of just need to rely on measurements. It should hopefully come together the same.
Tessa and I are making sweet potatoes with smoked cream and onions.
Tessa,
Yep.
do you want to toss the sweet potato out into the onion butter?
Oh yeah, should we do that?
Yes, it'd be delicious.
Okay.
Let's just kind of elevate this a little bit.
Tessa, my sweet potatoes are in the butter.
I'm just basting the sweet potato with the butter.
And how is it?
Mine's like just holding together. It's really nice and soft.
Just cook them one side.
Put them one side.
Yeah, so it's caramelized on one side and the other side is just nice and orange. Do you get what I mean?
What? What are you doing with them? Are you putting them in the pan?
I'll put them in the pan.
He's frying off his sweet potato and I haven't been. I literally need to get this on the heat right now if I want to have my dish replicate Reynold's. I'm definitely worried that our dishes aren't identical. I'm worried that the onions aren't put on the plate right. I'm worried that the nest is different. I'm just hoping that doesn't mean that we're going into tomorrow's pressure test.
What's the dish?
So it's sweet potato with smoked cream and onions.
Do you want us to put you out of your misery?
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting shaky knees. Oh. Oh.
Oh no. Oh well.
All right, we're going to test it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Wow, 2 very different looking dishes here. Reynolds is beautifully plated, and Tessa's one's a little bit more rustic.
Yeah.
Tessa's sweet potato nest, there was a lot more of it. It was harder fried, so it was more caramelised. The smoke was so much more dialed up. The salsa verde was like bang, punchy. Whereas Reynold, they just seemed to be more harmonious and work together quite a lot more smoothly. But there's other dishes out there have been different in flavour profile, whereas these ones had the same profile, they were just done a little bit different.
In this case, there's a lot that's in common, but there are sort of those personal flourishes that make these dishes very much Tessa's dish and Reynold's dish. So, yeah, different artistic interpretations here.
Today I've got this incredible idea. I want to make a smoked chocolate mousse in the shape of a sphere with a chocolate bean caramel in the center, dipped in a white chocolate that's been colored with activated charcoal with banana cream and a oak wood gelato. There is a lot to do. I've still got to make my tempered chocolate. Assemble my smoked chocolate mousse sphere. I need to roast the bananas, kind of caramelize that before I make my banana cream. But the next thing I gotta do is add my chocolate bean caramel gel into the center of the chocolate mousse. The chocolate bean caramel is going to be the center component of the mousse, so when you cut it open, you can see kind of ooze out. And I put it back in the blast spheres that are fully set. The next thing I start working on is my banana component. I need to roast the bananas, kind of caramelize that before I make the banana cream. I'm being really ambitious with this dish. And now, I'm not sure if I've given myself enough time to get everything done. 5 minutes to go, and I'm just trying to get everything together. I've got a lot of elements, and I need to move really, really fast. I get my mousse out of the freezer, unmold it, and join the two halves together to make a sphere. Once I've joined the two halves together, I skewer it with a wooden skewer and then dip it into tempered chocolate. It looks amazing, but each and every second I'm thinking about my banana cream.
I'm freaking out.
I take my banana out of the oven. Oh my God. It's just dried. It's not caramelized at all. I don't have time to do anything else. Put it on the chopping board, start mashing it up, and trying to get as much moisture into it as possible. It's not the banana cream I had in mind, but hopefully it's enough for me to salvage the dish.
That's a very big smile you got on your face. What's going on?
Oh my God.
Oh, what's happened?
What's going on?
I tried to do too much. I really tried to do too much.
So it's not a happy smile.
No, it's just like, what have I done?
It's a good question, mate. What have you done?
So it's a smoked chocolate mousse with a tonka bean caramel,
Banana cream and
a smoked bourbon gelato.
It sounds good.
Let's crack in. Look how thin that chocolate shell is. You continue to astound me in terms of what you can achieve in 60 minutes because everything about all of these elements was really impressive. Your chocolate shell is beautifully tempered. I don't know that you could have gotten it any thinner. That mousse was just really silky and velvety and just a wonderful texture. That was fantastic. Then I took a scoop of the gelato and then it all comes together. Not only was the texture of the gelato super silky, it carried with it, you know, the bourbon, the smoke, you know, a really kind of rich, round flavour. I loved all of the elements, except for that banana component. Not your best work, but otherwise delicious.
Look, for me, it really missed that third element because your milk gelato was super smoky. But I feel like that third element really could have pulled it all together.
You're so focused on these amazing presentations that you do. Your technical ability is absolutely faultless. To do the chocolate sphere, the caramel in the middle, a beautiful silky gelato, all of the things going on there in 60 minutes, it's like, wow, bring it. But you're not focusing enough attention on the flavour of things. You haven't tasted things along the way. You need to be thinking about flavour first, technique second, yeah?
All right, thanks guys.
Thanks, Reynold.
Thanks, Reynold. If that's in an elimination,
Yep.
the guy walks out the door.
Yep.
Trying to do too many components today has definitely gotten me into trouble. Around this time of the competition, I gotta be smarter. I gotta dial things back.
We can't go into elimination the next round together.
I know.
No pressure. This is the food of my people. What are you doing?
I want to do like a fried steamed dumpling.
What's your filling?
Pork and cabbage, favourite. My
So
favourite.
you're sort of doing like a northern Chinese, Shanghainese sort of style pan-fried dumpling.
Pan-fried dumpling. So fry them off, get it real crispy, and then cover steam.
Great. Reynolds?
Need to do a fried rice with chicken scratchings, chicken fat through it, ginger chicken rice, lapchong, and finish it off with the chicken scratchings on top, some garlic in it as well, and some shallots.
Fantastic. What do you reckon?
I think they've really hit the nail on the head. You know,
Yeah.
these are street foods of China, so they're
Yeah.
really, you know, as long as it's clean and simple and cooked nice.
As long as you find ways to jam as much flavour as you can in there, make it so tasty.
All right.
All right, good.
Come on, Reynold.
I gotta make the fried rice good. Fried rice can be boring, but I'm thinking to add a bit of chicken fat and chicken scratchings into it. To make this chicken scratching is to basically remove all the skin from the chicken, chop it up, put some water in a pan, and then just let it boil until the water evaporates and the fat renders out. And also lapchong, which is a Chinese sausage. It's sweet, it's really fatty, and it's really Moorish.
It's all about drying out that rice first.
In my fried rice, I want to add in a bunch of different sauce. Shallot sauce, XO sauce, chili oil into that as well, and just a little bit of chicken fat as well.
Oh, yep.
Nailing the right fried rice is not easy. It's all about instinct. So I'm getting Khan to taste some.
It's too hot, I know.
It's hot. It's really hot.
Just put it in your mouth. Oh my God, God.
It really.
I burnt my mouth too.
Is it spicy or just
No, it's like heat hot.
It's heat hot.
You could have warned me.
Feedback on the rice?
Reynold gives me a test of his fried rice. I think it's a little bit too greasy. But right now, there's only about 4 minutes to go, so I don't know how he's going to be able to fix it.
You need some freshness.
Some freshness?
So to bring some freshness into the fried rice, I've got some fresh coriander and chopped up some fresh little bird's eye chili.
Come on, Reynold.
I want to be safe. I don't want to go into round 2. I really hope that it is enough. I hope that I've nailed the cooking of the rice and that is not too greasy.
Okay, boys, tell us, what have you cooked?
I've made fried rice with lapchong and some shrimp with a little bit of chicken scratching.
I've got a pork and Chinese cabbage dumpling with a black vinegar and soy dressing and a Szechuan chili oil.
Let's eat.
It was good. It wasn't great.
To me, the rice, it's nice. The textures that you've chosen to put in there, I think you could have used something a bit fresher as well. Like you've got the lapchong, you've got like the small prawn, and it's like quite salty elements.
The rice, I'm still getting that greasiness, and it's coming out of the Chinese sausage. You end up getting a whole piece of that with a forkful. That's all you can taste. But I love the technique on the dumplings. The flavour of the pork and cabbage was really great, and I think you've had a really solid attempt at that. Thank you.
Thanks, lads.
I knew it. I had a feeling.
Wow, Ray's gonna do fish.
I want to do a French savory, not a sweet actually. I don't want to do it sweet because like it's hard to nail a very, very classic French dish it's a dessert.
For round 2, I'm gonna make confit blue white with celeriac puree, potted peas, and a white wine sauce.
Wow, I'm really surprised. I mean, you're fighting for a spot to stay in the competition, and you're
Yeah.
not doing a sweet.
No.
I'm shocked by that. I don't want to jinx you, but when you left the competition the last time, what did you leave on? Sweet or savoury?
When you cook a fish like bonito, it can become so dry so quickly, so you definitely don't want to flip it over.
savory on fish as well.
I'm going to leave that with you, my friends.
This is definitely a risk because there's no room to screw it up. And today, if I have overcooked fish, I'm gonna be going home. Key to getting the right confit fish is to get the temperature of the oil perfect. And for me to do that is to put it in a water bath. I'm gonna put all the oil with the fish in a bag, some time, and then pop it in a water bath.
I'm hoping to get the fish out in the last 10 minutes. I want to make sure that I've got the fish cooked perfectly because this is elimination. I got to make sure everything is done right.
You happy with the fish, Reynold?
Yeah, actually am. I just need to check it first.
I get the fish out of the sous vide.
It's actually so delicate. Yes! Just like just cooked.
Amazing. Good one, Ray.
I'm not gonna cut it. I'm not gonna play around with it. I have to make sure that this fish stays intact. I'm just gonna hope and pray that it's cooked through.
It's a confit blue eye with celeriac puree, potted peas, pickled echalot, pea shoots, and garlic flour. And the sauces is a wine sauce with chive oil.
So tell me, why is this dish resonating with French for you?
I love French food. It's so, the sauces, once you get the hang of it, you can create incredible layers of sauces. And I just find that, like this kind of sauce, for example, jus especially, it's really, really fun to do.
Get your sauce on and we'll test it.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Well, look, for me, he's ticked the box of visuals as far as a French dish goes, and that is a fine dining French dish.
Thank you. I think great French cooking is about focusing on each ingredient and letting it shine, and that does the talking, so I think he absolutely nailed it.
This just shows the reason why French cooking, when it's done like that, is a hero. Because right there, you don't want anything else. We asked for technically perfect French food, and that's what he gave us.
He was right to be worried about that fish, though, because that was on the edge. Perfection, but on the edge. If he had been 30 seconds less, he would have been in trouble there. The fish is melt in the mouth, couldn't get any better texture, and blue-eye cod is a fish that can dry out and be really not that great, but it was just delicious. It made my mouth water, which is quite rare.
Reynolds,
Oh, hey.
you've made top 8. What's the next goal on the horizon?
Top 5, then the trophy.
Okay, simple as that.
Coming out of MasterChef the first time, my career has catapulted. But this time around, it's being able to maintain that reputation and getting that trophy. So today I'm making a caramelized raisin ice cream with frozen liquid sablé and golden delicious apples that are poached. Frozen liquid sablé is basically a sablé biscuit.
I'm gonna blend up my sablé.
That you blend up to a liquid. And then you freeze it. And it creates this kind of like cold, textural crunch, yet tastes like a biscuit at the same time. I've never made a frozen liquid sablé in the MasterChef kitchen before. This is a little bit of an experiment, but I'm up against best of the best from season 1 to 11. You have to go above and beyond your own expectations.
Ice cream's done.
So to plate my dessert, I put a little piece of the frozen liquid sablé on top of the ice cream and the poached apples.
Oh, that looks pretty, Ray.
I really hope my technique and bringing something new into the competition, like a frozen liquid sablé, will be impressive enough.
It is a caramelized raisin ice cream with frozen liquid sablé, roasted apple skins with poached apples.
ice cream, your apples, and your little dehydrated skin. I loved all that. The frozen liquid sablé, just not a fan. It's in between like a raw cookie dough and like a bit sandy.
All good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Reynold.
Thanks, Reynold. Reynolds,
Yep.
let's have it, mate. When you go.
I get my cube and I'm feeling it. It's another meat. Put it in my mouth, but there's no saltiness. It's pretty dry. Smoky. So I'm thinking, what can be dry and bland and slightly smoky?
That's a tough one.
Maybe ham, but ham has a different texture to it. And salty, because ham is cured.
So got you stumped.
Yeah. No, all I can tell is just smoky.
I'm definitely not confident with this answer at all.
Oh, I think it's gonna get me.
If I get this wrong, I'm going to round 2 again.
Reynolds, what is that 1-inch cube?
It's a gamble. Turkey?
Turkey is incorrect.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The answer is ham, which puts you in round 2, my friend.
Here I am, I'm in round 2 again. This is a hat trick, and I'll be going to round 2 with Tessa.
Unlucky Reynolds. Did so well, mate.
So, Ray.
I was gonna say ham, but the texture is not like ham. It was
No.
literally like chicken.
In round 2, I'm going to try and push my absolute hardest and nail it. Going to this cook, my headspace is still pretty rattled about round 1. So now I'm in round 2 and I've got to fight for my place in the competition. The stakes are really high, and to be honest, it's quite scary. In my head, I know there are beautiful dishes I can make, but nothing comes to mind. The only thing I can think of right now is to utilize that duck.
What are you making, Ray?
Duck with pickled raspberry beetroot.
Yep.
Gonna make a sauce out of the duck bones, the bacon,
Yep.
and gonna barbecue the kale as well with
Yeah,
some soy, whatever it is.
Sounds beautiful, mate.
Nice, Ray.
I do hope that the flavor's gonna balance perfectly. It's all about the texture, the flavor, and the aroma.
To get a perfectly balanced dish is very difficult when I don't have a perfect idea in mind. My brain's clouded, it's cluttery, and I don't really know what I'm doing. Yes, I'm a perfectionist. I want to put up dishes that I'm happy with because I know I can cook. The past 2 eliminations have been probably the 2 best dishes that I've done in a while. But today, I'm just feeling the pressure. The competition is getting harder and harder and harder.
Okay, before you run off, and I know you are super focused, but I want to know about your dish.
So I'm doing a beetroot reduction.
Okay.
With a bit of sugar.
Yep.
Some raspberry vinegar, so
Yep.
it kind of balances it out.
Okay, so
Then I'm gonna-
sweet and sour going on there. You've got duck breast.
And then I'm gonna use the bones to make a smoky sauce out of it.
Are you feeling good about the strategy you have to really achieve this challenge well?
Well, I'll be honest, like, I am kind of just free-flowing right now. It's not the time to do it, but I know the flavors will work.
Okay.
It's just gonna come down to trying to round everything together.
You know, you're experimenting on a black apron day, which is a huge risky move.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm taking such a huge risk experimenting with this dish.
Come on, Reynold.
All I can do is just dig deep, make sure a miracle happens today. Otherwise, I'm going home.
Let's go, Reynolds.
Right now, I need to make sure I stay calm, stay focused, and make the right decisions.
We're at top 8, everything has to be spot on, and if it's not, well, we're gonna go home.
Today, I'm making a pan-seared duck breast with beetroot glaze.
Yum.
The sauce needs to be beautifully balanced. You've got the duck bones for the umami, seaweed, the salty and umami, and the bacon to bring some more kind of layer of saltiness.
What are you doing with the leaves?
The kale,
Yep.
I'm gonna barbecue it.
Nice, Ray.
I've got kale from the Bitter Pantry, and I want to barbecue them on the hibachi. It kind of brings more flavor and depth into this bitter element. There's one very simple component that I'm missing, and that's sweet.
Go, Reynolds.
Dates are really good with savory. And I had an idea in my mind after watching a video on YouTube to do a smoked date puree. Well, you know what, let's just try that today.
Right, I love the roasted dates.
Just get a bit of smokiness to it.
Super awesome with the mushrooms and duck.
I'm really happy with what I've come up with.
Nice, Ray.
The taste, it's really sweet. So I'm gonna add some salt, again, to kind of offset that sweetness. I feel like I'm back on track and ready to just smash it out of the park. Now, I'm making sure I'm seasoning the duck during the cook and making sure that there's enough umami coming through.
Come on, Reynold.
Reynold, get that skin nice.
That's it, Ray. Make it beautiful.
So I've got the duck, that's gonna bring the umami. The kale that's been barbecued to bring some bitterness. The date puree for some sweetness, with beetroot pickle for, of course, the sourness.
Yeah, nice idea, Reynold.
And then lastly, the saltiness in the sauce with some bacon and kombu. I think it's all balanced.
Yes, good one, Reynold.
Thank you, Po.
My heart is pounding on my chest. Today is probably the worst day to be experimenting. So I really hope it has worked for me.
All right, what's the dish?
It is a pan-seared duck with a beetroot reduction, pickled beetroot with raspberry vinegar, date puree and barbecued kale. And the sauce is made from the duck bones, mushroom and kombu with bacon.
Energy's down here.
Yeah.
What's going on?
No, it's just that today, like with that dish, it's not the greatest that I've done.
Let's hope that this is not the dish that sends you home. We'll taste. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Reynold.
Cheers, Reynold.
I've just got to hope and pray that I stay in this competition because I have so much more to show. I want to make my friends and my family proud.
It might not be the most interesting plate of food I've ever had, but I tell you what, it's very well balanced. The cooking on the duck breast, really good. Really like that sauce with the bacon in it. The really interesting part of this dish was the date puree and how the date puree sort of really filled your mouth, but then the pickled beetroot just came through and made me want to have another bite.
For me, I was just struck by the visuals from the get-go. It felt like a scene from a Japanese shogun movie, like a samurai sword, blood on snow, red rose, super dramatic. Was it joyful? Not really, but it was delicious. And it did tick all of the elements that we were looking for here. And most of all, tied it all together in a bow, and we can call that balance.
It's not the most exciting plate of food that we will eat from Reynold, and I think he definitely knows that. But again, he's ticked boxes. And I suppose in saying that, he's ticked the box of the balance.
We'll get the next one in.
This is a classic style, and I don't have any classic training at all. I'm self-taught. So for it to be a purist classic, it's gonna be a tough one for me today. I have tried to make a bomb Alaska in my season, and it was a complete fail. It just got melty, melty puddle everywhere. So I wouldn't count that. I haven't made a proper bomb Alaska that actually holds together. So today could be the day. I can make a parfait, that's sort of an ice cream, and then coat that in meringue. 90 minutes to do those two components. It's so easy.
So I've chosen Bomb Alaska, and I'll be doing a classic flavor pairing of just as simple as vanilla and orange.
The first thing I get onto is my
Two kinds of frozen components,
a orange sorbet with a vanilla parfait. I want the parfait to be nice and light and airy, as well as have this beautiful vanilla flavor throughout.
Everything must be really solid before I combine the two ice creams together.
The only thing that I'm worried about is Amelia. She's also chosen Bomb Alaska, and she knows her classics. For the perfect Bomb Alaska, the parfait has to be frozen enough to be coated in meringue and then finished off with a beautiful flambe.
Reynolds,
Reynold.
How are you, mates?
I am okay.
The question on our lips is, what flavour is your bomb Alaska?
Orange and vanilla. I'm going to do an orange sorbet with a vanilla parfait. I'll put through some of the zest through the meringue as well.
Okay, nice.
Are you trying to pull way back? Like you just want to unleash on this thing, don't you?
I am pulling back, and if I was to do my own version of it, you guys will whoop my ass.
Okay. You haven't mentioned sponge. Are you making a sponge? I'll leave you with that, mate.
What sponge? Is there a sponge?
No sponge.
No sponge.
Yeah. So,
is that classic?
I don't know. Is it?
I'll leave you with that, mate.
Okay. Does it need a sponge?
Yep.
Okay.
Come on, Ray. Go, 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 go.
I didn't know that I need a sponge in my bomb Alaska.
So I've got to make the sponge and get this done quick.
Come on, Ray.
So it's time to assemble my bomb Alaska. I get my sponge out of the oven and I cut out rounds of it. It's nice and fluffy. I grab my hemisphere of frozen parfait and orange sorbet and put it on top of the sponge. And then I start piping little dollops of meringue around the bomb Alaska and covering the whole parfait. Despite me not knowing what a proper bomb Alaska is with a sponge, I feel like I've had a pretty good cook.
The only thing I'm worried about is it a good enough classic bomb Alaska?
Oh, she's spiky. All right, Reynold, tell us the elements in your bomb Alaska.
It's a vanilla parfait with orange sorbet and a orange almond sponge. And the meringue, I've put through some orange zest.
Cool. And the sponge, that was a close call. If you hadn't had a sponge, you would definitely have been around too.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's cut it open. Couple of things for me. I think the sponge is very thick. Would be about that thick. There's quite a lot of it. It has soaked up some of that alcohol, but it is still a little bit dry. The flavors of everything, though, is delicious.
Balance of flavour, perfect. It's really fresh, it's really delicious. I would love to be served that at a fine dining restaurant with a bit of a retro bent. The sponge is probably a little thicker than it should be. I'm used to seeing a thinner disc.
It's just too thick. But the flavour is what I can't get over. You've really nailed the different layers of the orange in there. So well done.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Reynold.
Reynolds.
Hi, Mel.
You have something pretty crazy in store, right?
Yes. So let me ask you, have you tried space?
Have I tried space? Let's just say no.
Apparently in the middle of our galaxy, Milky Way, there's a gas cloud.
Yep.
And it tastes like raspberries, and it smells like rum.
Okay.
The dish that I'm going to make today is about space.
I want it to look like sort of like a meteor going through space.
It sounds insane, but okay, Google it.
This sounds like OG Reynold coming back with force. I can't wait till this is done so I get to see what this crazy creation is.
This is gonna be a next level dessert for sure, if I can pull it off. If I can pull it off, which God, hopefully I can.
I want this dish to look black and red and really mystical, almost interstellar looking. So I've got my raspberry and rum sorbet. It's gonna add this really beautiful red, intense color. I've got my rum ganache, which is gonna be a whipped ganache base.
I've got a black cocoa butter that I'm gonna spray later on.
Yep.
I kinda want it to look like a gas cloud in a way.
Nice.
I'm gonna make it blend into the plate, have an ice malt shard with raspberries on it to kind of look like a gas cloud in the middle of Milky Way.
Oh, what's that?
Almond sponge.
The judges criticized my dish in round 1 about my sponge being dry. But I'm gonna take a risk on another almond sponge. I'm gonna do it again and make sure that it isn't dry. "30 minutes ago, I'm trying to bring all my elements together. My sponge is done.
You happy with the sponge?
Yeah, the sponge is good. It's more fruity. It's super moist. It's nice and fluffy. I'm really happy. I'm gonna whip my ganache now. So my rum ganache has been sitting in the fridge for a while. I pop it into a mixer and whisk it. This whipped ganache is really important. I want it to be nice and firm, smelling like rum. So I can pipe it, I push it, pipe it again, I push it. It creates like a wave effect. But I'm looking at it and it's not whisking. Usually after about a solid 2 minutes of high-speed whisking, it would be fluffy and set already, but it's just liquid. I think I didn't put enough chocolate in there or gelatin, and the alcohol addition to it would have loosened everything up, and I didn't think about it. I think I screwed up.
Have you already put the alcohol in it?
Alcohol's in it, gelatin, everything. It just needs to set a bit more.
Okay.
Since my rum ganache is not whipping up at all, I put it back in the fridge to hopefully set a bit more.
Don't panic, okay?
Yep, try not to.
Yep.
Trying not to.
No, it's fine.
I'm feeling a little bit worried now. I don't want to go home today, so I feel a lot of pressure. If I don't get my concept right and my dish together, I could be going home. 15 minutes to go, my rum ganache is in the fridge. I can tell that this is not set at all. But I have to use this. I am just running out of time here.
Did it work, Ray?
It's not the best, but it's good enough. I pipe my rum mousse on top of my raspberry almond cake. I need to get that into the glass freezer for as long as I possibly can. I can't give up. This is the opportunity for me to show my creativity and technical ability. Definitely gonna fight hard about this.
You know how to cook better than like anyone in this kitchen.
But just like things keep screwing up for me. Always. I hate it.
Oh, delicious.
Let's go, Tessa.
5 minutes to go. You know, I'm just keeping an eye on feeling those fillets to know when they're done.
It's almost done now.
Overcooked fish got me into round 2, so it's so important that I perfectly cook these flathead fillets. Otherwise, it's going to be sending me home.
I think I'm just going to go with that.
What do you got left to do, Tess?
I've just got to finish this salsa, and then I'm good to go.
Guys, I'm so stressed as well.
No, don't. I'll do the stressing. You do the cooking.
This has been the most nerve-wracking that I've ever felt.
What's that, Ray?
Yogurt gel.
Nice.
My nerves are just way up the roof and it's just crazy. I wish I didn't screw up to start with. Trying not to give up.
Come on, Reynolds.
I've frozen my rum mousse with the almond cake. I need to get that out of the freezer and I'm gonna spray the whole thing black with some cocoa butter. I hate this feeling right now. Rushing this last few moments. And this dish is not the way I want it. I want it kind of mystical, interstellar looking. So much stress.
We go.
I'm putting this through with the white chocolate.
Are you smashing them all up together?
Yeah. I feel like the execution for this dish is not right, but I know the concept is there, I know the flavors are there, and hopefully the judges will get it. I'm relying on my concept right now, that the judges have never tasted space. I know there's a few flaws, but I do think that the judges have never seen anything like this before.
Reynold, explain the dish.
So rum Mousse with a raspberry almond sponge, with yogurt gel, raspberry rum sorbet, ice malt twill, and white chocolate pebbles.
In that cook, do you think you got lost down a black hole?
Today is probably the first day where I almost snapped, but I really hope this does deliver. I believe the concept is right, so it's up to the taste and textures.
All right, Reynold, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Reynold.
Enjoy.
Cheers, mate.
Okay, let's break apart the asteroid. Thank you.
The raspberry sorbet was delicious. You get the nice, crunchy, delicate isomalt sort of crisp on there. Nice acidity out of the yogurt, but the mousse wasn't a mousse. Like, it wasn't overly pleasant.
I've got the exact same. The stickler for me is the rum mousse. Texturally, it is non-existent, but everything else was bang on. The sorbet is so good. It is so tart. And then you had the ice malt twill, and then all those little pebbles and rocks, and that's what made this something that I've never really had before.
High concept, edible art is what Reynold does better than most people.